Hello and welcome to another video. Now today we're going to be discussing mages and basically some general thoughts and feelings on mages, as well as discussing which ones don't have a home and which ones should be played in Conquest and, well, really shouldn't. So the first two here are Thoth and Agni. These are actually really good in mid lane. They can be played in mid lane. They don't have any problems at all. Play them. They're fine. Outpunch. Outpunch is basically he's not very good in Conquest. He is awful. He has a very weak early game. He has very bad mana consumption problems. Even with the buffs, he still has problems. His early is terrible. He can't clear the wave. He has to use 3 abilities to clear the wave. It takes him a while to get to level 3. So basically, he will lose a lot of gold and XP. So that will put him further behind. He's very easy to kill level 1, very easy to kill level 2, very easy to kill level 3, and level 4, and then 5. So you can kill him about 5 times in a row, especially if your jungler is competent and you are a mid laner and you're good. You can basically kill him about 5 times in a row with your jungler. You basically kill him once while he's trying to clear the wave. Your jungler then camps to tier 2, kills him again, he then comes back. You can keep doing the same thing over and over again. You pretty much just starve him of farm and he will be put behind and he'll become irrelevant. Unless his team decides to protect him and try and help him to get through his very difficult early to get some items online, he is garbage. Don't play him in Conquest. He is awful. In other game modes like Clash, Joust, even Assault, he's very, very good because he has a massive area in which he can basically use his abilities and he's very close to towers. He can run away. He also as well can clear the wave a lot easier. He can go back. There's a lot more gold, etc, etc. So you can get online faster. Plus as well, his ult can cover the entire lane. In Conquest, that's not really possible because you can just literally jump away and then he's lost his ult. So there's that. Alquang. Alquang is basically the jungler in the entire mage group. He is very, very good. He is a melee mage. You can build him full burst, you can build him tanky, whatever, it works. But you mainly want to play him in jungle, you don't want to play him in mid because he just can't clear the wave. He does much better with the jungle camps. Aphrodite. So, Aphrodite is actually quite good in mid. She is very, very good in mid, if I'm honest with you. She's not got the best early in the entire world, but she's okay, she can survive and she can do things. The only problem Aphrodite has is the fact that she doesn't bring much damage to the table, but she does bring a lot of utility to the table. Her ult is amazing. She can just basically keep healing people up. She has a single target heal, but it's very, very good. Her entire design is very, very good. She has a, well, she's pretty safe because her passive means she basically gets a free ward, so she's like, hey, someone's nearby, I should probably run away. I know some people are going to be saying, but you skipped over Anubis. Anubis basically is a better version of Outpunch. He needs to be protected, but he does more damage. He comes online sooner, and he's basically as safe as him. He's not very safe, high risk, high reward, but he's very, very, very strong. Very, very strong. Don't underestimate Anubis, but try and kill him as early on as possible, because if you do that, then you can actually get ahead. But he's unsafe, in my opinion, but he's still good. Changa. Changa basically has a similar problem to our Punch in the fact that she can't clear wave early, she has mana consumption problems, she can get bullied out very early on. As a result, she's not very good in the mid lane because she wants to have the mana buff, so she can use her abilities. She has very, very long cooldowns as well, so she has to build cooldown. As a result, she leans more towards going into the solo lane because of her bunny. The key problem Changa has, though, is the fact that solo lane at the moment is very, very aggressive, very, very bully focused, and it takes the match. Changa can't really do much early on. She takes a while to get online, she's very, very squishy, she's very, very soft. You can basically kill her like Outpunch, kill her once in lane, then once she's coming back to lane, you kill her under the tier 2, she's now behind a lot. You can just gank her over and over again and there's nothing that you can really do. Literally, she has no pressure, she loses most matchups currently at the moment. There you go. Freya. Freya basically is the mage that you want to be putting in the duo lane 99% of the time. Freya is very, very good. She has a very poor early. She has no escape, apart from her ult, which you really want to try and hold. She's very, very strong, but she requires some time to farm and get online. The best way of doing that would be the duo lane. As a result, you don't want to put Freya in mid lane because Freya will just die, especially against any competent jungler. They're basically going to gank her over and over again. The same story as Chang'e and now Punch. Basically bully her, she's put behind, she's dead, she's irrelevant. Hades has the same problem as Chang'e. Hades really doesn't want to go into the mid lane because most of his abilities are melee focused. He's slightly tankier. But the problem with Hades though is he still has not the best early and he can still get bullied out. Plus as well his sustain isn't that good anymore. As a result, Hades is not that strong in solo lane, but he can be played there. You just have to know what you're doing and you have to make sure that you play very, very good. Otherwise, you will get punished and you will get punished pretty hard. But Hades is actually pretty good. He's pretty good in the solo lane. However, he's not the best choice in the solo lane. Pretty much you want to have Guardians and Warriors above him, but if you have to pick Hades, you pick Hades. He's a fun pick, he can work in solo lane sometimes, but you have to know what you're doing. Simple as that. Hell has the same problem as Chang'e. She wants to go into solo lane, but again she gets bullied out. She has the lowest health of any mage at all, which means she can die very easily. That means the jungler and warrior can basically make mincemeat of her and just keep killing her over and over and over and over. She's very, very strong. Her cleanse is amazing. However, getting to that stage where she is tanky enough, has enough healing potential, she doesn't want to be building full damage. She wants to be building like somewhat as a frontliner, hit a warrior mage, so she can survive because she has such low base stats. So as a result, Hell wants to go into solo lane, but solo lane is very, very aggressive at the moment, and she can get bullied out very early on. She just needs to lose her blue buff, get invaded a couple times, and she's irrelevant. There you go. So looking at the other mages, Nox. I don't want to put Nox into the same group, but I feel I have to. Nox's biggest problem is the fact that she requires a special set of circumstances in order to make her work. That is, the fights need to go on for a very long time. They also as well need to have some setup for her combo, so she can easily get it. If those conditions are met, Nox is very, very good because she can silence people out, she can then combo them down, and it does a lot of damage. And then she can basically be an absolute nuisance. However, her abilities are very hard to hit, very hard to land, and do it consistently. She is very much in the same vein of Scylla. A lot of damage, has an escape, has an incredibly ultimate, but requires setup and requires time. The longer fights go on for, the more powerful Scylla and Nox is, because they can basically burst you down in 4 abilities. There you go. So, Soul. Soul is basically somewhat similar to Freya, but Soul can be played in mid lane. Key difference, Soul can actually survive in mid lane. Soul can be played in duo or she can play in mid. She's not bad, she's actually really, really good. She has CC immunity, she has immunity in general, she has a great ultimate that does require some sort of setup, but she can burst people down constantly. Very, very strong. Last one, Zhonghui. So, Zhonghui. Zhonghui basically suffers from a very similar problem to the other healers. So Hell, Aphrodite, Chang'e, he can be bullied on early on. He doesn't have the best early, but he can do a lot of damage. He does require some sort of protection, but he can be very much a nuisance. Especially if we build him tanky with some damage late game, he can be absolutely irritating. He doesn't have much burst damage. He's similar to Nox in that regard. The longer fights go on for, the more it actually benefits Zhonghui because he can heal himself and just keeps ticking you down. Very, very, very annoying. Someone else we can also talk about as well. Very similar to Scylla and Nox is Zeus, but slightly different. Actually, you could say Zeus is very similar to Anubis. Yeah, I'm going to say Zeus is very similar to Anubis. So, Zeus basically is Anubis with a large area of effect damage. Zeus doesn't have any mobility, so he can be died very easily, but he does have a lot of damage. As a result, you want to be building Zeus with like Wing Blade, so he can move faster and get away. You want to be trying to protect Zeus, but Zeus can do a lot of damage, especially in a team fight. He can just basically stack his lightning on you, burst, like do a little bit of burst on you, and that basically wants to deter you. If you're going to be doing Fire Giant or Gold Fury, he can then drop his Lightning Storm on you, which I forgot what it's called. Yeah, it's called Lightning Storm. He can drop Lightning Storm on you, and that will basically force you off of that objective. You can also as well use that to secure objectives. So Zeus, very, very strong, but slightly unsafe, I would say. Very good though. Pretty much every other mage in this group, I would say, is somewhat safer. Somewhat easier to play compared to the others that I have mentioned. I would say they're all viable in mid lane. I wouldn't say they are the best ever, but there you go. Ah, I've missed one. Kronos. Kronos is very similar to Sol and Freya. Kronos can be played mid, but he has a very weak early game like Freya. He can be singled out very easily like Freya. He wants to farm and get a couple items online. He's very much a tower strider. He will go through towers like you wouldn't believe. He has base attacks in his kit. He can be built two ways: damage mage, or you can build like auto attack mage. Very, very strong. But he wants to go mid lane, or he wants to go duo, because if he's against an aggressive early game jungler, he is going to struggle, because level 1 to 5 he is very, very weak because he doesn't have his rewind, and that rewind is very, very important. He's also as well can't really clear the wave that well until he gets to level 5. Right, there you go. So I've just gone over every single mage that I think needs to be highlighted, and just telling you which ones are weak in certain situations and why. I would say most of the mages are, I would say pretty much all of the mages apart from a couple are not viable in mid. So Alpunch, Changa, Hades, Hell, who else would be on that list? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So those are the mages you want to avoid going into mid lane at all costs, but the others you can make work. And those are the weaknesses. Also as well, that's some thoughts and feelings on the gods, well, the mage class in general currently at the moment. I know some people are going to be like, wow, what's your opinion on Thoth? So let's do that very quickly. Thoth is a good mage, but he requires some degree of setup. His dash is going to be buffed soon, which is going to make him a lot more useful, so you can actually use it as an engage tool. He's going to be very, very strong, but it requires his land abilities, and he's not got the best damage in the entire world from his abilities, apart from his ult. So he's somewhat a traditional mage, somewhat a non-burst mage, I would say. But there you go. Thank you for watching. I will see you again next time. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope this insight was useful from me. Probably not, but there you go.